All right, Final Four, welcome to your next individual immunity challenge. First things first, Allison, got to take back the necklace. Thank you. Once again, immunity is back up for grabs. As you can see, we've brought the jury along to watch this because this challenge actually is about them. So, what's going to happen with this challenge is I'm sure you may remember, it's been a while, maybe you won't. We sent each of you a questionnaire before the season started asking some questions about what you thought about different topics, right? Well, we have those answers that the jury gave. We're going to ask these questions again, and it's up to you to answer the juror that you think was the answer to that question. Okay? For example, if this won't be, this is just an example. If one of the questions was, which juror said their favorite color was red, you write down the name of the juror you thought answered that. Okay? There are 12 questions. The player who answers the most correct, who gathers the most points, you get a point for answering a question correctly. Whoever answers the most correct questions gets the most points. Will an individual immunity guaranteed a spot in the final three. Okay? Any questions?
All right. So obviously, just like tribal council, no interactions from the jury, no hints, no subtle anything. But the way we're going to position is we're going to kind of have everybody on their stumps just kind of angle just a hair bit. No, this way. But you can obviously, if you need space or whatever to look, you can turn around or whatever that way or whatever, or you can walk off. But when he needs you to sit back down, that way people aren't looking over your shoulder. But just to eliminate any thing that, if the jury was to scratch their nose or itch or whatever, just that way there's no confusion on any signals that may or may not be sent.
Amos, do you want to space their logs?
Yeah, we can do that too. So let's space these out just a hair bit. You can pause that.
So just as a reminder, jury, Rob is right there. So I know it may be exciting if you hear the question that you're the answer to. Just please try to keep the reactions to yourself, if possible, please. We don't want to have to remove you guys from this challenge, okay? All right. Okay, so there are 12 questions, and each question there's only one answer for, so there's no double answers per question. Just wanted to say that up front. So what's going to happen is I'm going to read out the question. I'll repeat it once. You'll have 10 seconds to answer. I'll go 3, 2, 1, reveal. Show me your whiteboard. I'll say whether you're correct or not. Keep score here. Okay? Rinse and repeat. I'll read the question, repeat it. 3, 2, 1, reveal. Okay? Let's get started. First question. Out of all the jury members, who is the only one who did not call themselves a leader? Out of all the jury members, who is the only one who did not call themselves a leader?
Are we not able to look at them?
The jury?
Yeah.
No, that's the point. 3, 2, 1, reveal. I need you to turn around. Allison, I need you to turn around. Allison said Lachey. Nina said Allie. Is that correct? No. Chad said Geraldine. Rob said Geraldine. The correct answer is Aliana, so Nina gets a point.
Wow.
Next question. Let me go ahead and take the paper out. Which jury member said their pet peeve was followers? Which jury member said their pet peeve was followers? Three, 2, 1, reveal. Allison says Juan. Nina says Jess. Chad says Lachey. Rob says Isaiah. The correct answer is Lachey, so Chad gets a point. You can if you want. Question number 3. Which juror said the thing they'll miss most while playing is their Snapchat streaks? Which juror said the thing they'll miss most while playing is their Snapchat streaks? Three, two, one, reveal. Allison says Juan. Nina says Isaiah. Chad says Juan. Rob says Isaiah. The correct answer is Juan. So Allison and Chad get a point.
You lost it. He's gonna get it back. This time, Kate.
Question 4. Which juror said that if they could guarantee a food item to not be at the merge, it would be mushrooms and olives? Which juror said that if they could guarantee a food item to not be at the merge, it would be mushrooms and olives?
My marker isn't working very well.
3, 2, 1, reveal. Allison says Isaiah. Nina says Jess. Who is that, Chad?
Isaiah.
Isaiah. Rob says Isaiah. The correct answer is Isaiah. So Allison, Chad, and Rob all get a point. Here's the current score. Okay.
Could you read out the scores to the camera?
Rob has 1 point, Chad has 3, Allison has 2, and Nina has 1.
Thank you.
Which juror said they were asking Santa Claus to bring them a flint and steel for Christmas? Which juror said they were asking Santa Claus to bring them a flint and steel for Christmas? That's what I'm doing. That's why I said that.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, reveal. Allison says Brandon. Nina says Brandon. Chad says Brandon. Rob says Jess. The correct answer is Jess. So Rob gets a point.
Oh.
Which juror said they could see themselves as the Russell Hantz to a strong group of men? Which juror said they could see themselves as the Russell Hantz to a strong group of men? Three, two, one, reveal. Allison says Brandon. Nina says Isaiah. Chad says Geraldine. Rob says Aliana. The correct answer is Geraldine.
Nice.
So Chad gets a point.
The current scores are both Rob and Allison with 2, Chad with 4, and Nina with 1.
How many questions was that?
That was question 6. We're on question 7. So let me say it out loud. Thank you. Question 7. Which juror said that if they could guarantee a food item to not be at the merge, it would be, quote, whatever else the majority of other people said, their disappointment fuels me? Which juror said that if they could guarantee a food item to not be at the merge, it would be, quote, whatever else the majority of other people said, their disappointment fuels me? Three, two, one, reveal. Allison says Aliana. Nina says Geraldine. Chad says Brandon. Rob says Brandon. The correct answer is Aliana. So Allison gets a point. Question 8. Which juror said their biggest pet peeve was slowness? Which juror said their biggest pet peeve was slowness? Three, two, one. Reveal. Allison says Geraldine. Nina says Isaiah. Chad says Juan. Rob says Brandon. The correct answer is Brandon. So Rob gets a point.
Chad currently leads with 4. Rob and Allison are tied with 3 points, and Nina holding strong at 1 point.
This is question number 9. I can't count. Question number 9. Which juror said that they expected to be the merge boot? Which juror said that they expected to be the merge boot?
When asked what you thought the placement would be.
Yes. Three, two, one. Reveal. Allison, I got to reveal.
Oh, sorry.
You're all right. Allison says Brandon. Nina says Juan. Chad says that's Juan. Rob says Isaiah. The correct answer is Lachey. No one gets a point for that round.
Well, thanks, guys.
Question number 10. Which juror said that their perfect ally in them would give off, quote, Kyle and Camilla vibes by not constantly be seen together? Which juror said that their perfect ally in them would give off, quote, Kyle and Camilla vibes by not constantly be seen together? Three, two, one. Reveal. Allison says Isaiah. Nina says Brandon. Chad says Isaiah. Rob says Isaiah. The correct answer is Geraldine. So no one gets a point for that. Get a score update.
All right, so through the first 10 questions, Chad is still leading us with 4. Rob and Allison still tied with 3. Nina, 1 point.
Yep, I know. Thank you.
Question 11. Which juror said that they, quote, hate alliances? Which juror said that they, quote, hate alliances? Three, two, one. Reveal. Allison says Juan. Nina says Juan. Chad says Jess. Rob says Jess. The correct answer is Juan. So Allison and Nina both get a point.
So going into this final question, Chad and Allison, you guys are tied. So if you guys tie again, there would be a tie break. Rob, you have 3 points, and Nina, you have 2.
I have 2 now. Yay.
Question 12. Which juror said that they thought the most difficult part of the game would be that they would be a, quote, fish out of water? Which juror said that they thought the most difficult part of the game would be that they would be a, quote, fish out of water? Three, two, one, reveal. Allison says Lachey. Nina says Geraldine. Chad says Brandon. Rob says, who's that? Brandon. The correct answer is Brandon.
Whoa.
So with a score of 5 points, congratulations, Chad. You've won individual immunity.
See if you can get it.
Josh got it.
All right, you want to get it? All right, come on, Chad. Let's come on over here.
Maybe.
Chad, you have won a spot in the final 3. You also joined an elite group of people, tying the record for most immunities won in surviving Reelfoot history. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
All right. As for the rest of you, somebody will be the next person voted out of this game. All right.
All right, as we said, you're going to go straight from that challenge into tribal council, which is what we're doing right now. So first, Chad, congratulations on winning your 3rd individual immunity. As Josh said, tied the ultimate record in Reelfoot. Once you heard what this challenge was, were you confident in your abilities, or is this win a bit of a surprise?
I was confident when I heard what the challenge was until I realized it was about the quizzes before the game. We had talked about it being about the jury members and things they may have shared in the game. So I wasn't as confident, but this was certainly up my wheelhouse, and I did get to know a lot of the jury members throughout the course of the game that helped me make informed decisions, a la the streaks on Snapchat, etc.
Rob, it's tough being at Final Four Tribal Council. You can only vote for 2 other people here. So does Chad having this necklace give him the most power, or do you and the other 2 still have any sort of leverage?
Yeah, I mean, winning the Final Four immunity gives him a lot of power. Yeah.
That's fair.
So,
No, you're good. You're good, man. It's all good.
Woken up from a nap
Took
with
the
a very
chair.
abrasive alarm.
Yeah.
Nina, like I said, you only have 2 options between Alice and Rob. So what criteria do you weigh when you go to cast that vote at this point in the game?
Trust. I'm tired. Trust.
Most important part of the game, right? Allison, at this point in the game, would you say that you've played a game that you would be confident to pitch in front of the jury?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to elaborate as well.
I stand by the moves I made, the people I worked with, the people I talked to along the way, even if we weren't working together. And I've been very open and grateful for this entire experience, the entire time.
Chad, as someone who's already punched his ticket to get to the last 3 players, what type of people would you not want to see with you moving forward in the game? Is there a specific type of player?
I guess a player who might not have my best. Well, everybody should have their own best interest at heart, but there have been other times in this game where I might be the second best interest in their heart, and I've been trying to keep that close throughout this game, and that's what I would continue to like to move forward with.
Rob, another factor about the Final Four Tribal Council is it could come down to a 2-2 tie, and fire would have to be implemented. So does the conversation, has that topic come up in conversation of this could come down to a tie potentially?
it hasn't come up. I didn't know what the Final Four tiebreaker was going to be. So it hasn't come up till now.
Okay. And if you were to find yourself in a tiebreaker challenge, would that be something concerning, or do you have confidence in yourself that you could get out of that?
Do I have confidence in my fire making ability? It depends on the day.
Nina, what about you? In the event that a tie were to happen, do you have confidence in yourself that you can jump through any obstacle in front of you?
I would certainly give it my all
That's all you can ask for.
this entire game.
That's all we can ask for. And Allison, I said it earlier on in the game, but I think it holds different meaning now that we're this close to the end. Not only do you have to give people a reason to vote for someone else, you have to give them a reason to keep you. So why should you keep going forward in the game?
I've worked closely with all three of these people, and I would be happy to sit with any of them at the end.
Okay. Well, as I said, as the numbers get smaller, the trials get shorter. You seem confident, you seem prepared, but as we always say, anything can happen on Survivor, so let's see what happens with this vote. I would like to give each of you the chance, if there's anything else you want to say, any last-minute pitches or whispers, now would be the time to do so. All right, time for talking is done. We're going to get to the vote very soon.
All right. Once the votes are read, the decision is final. Person voted out will be asked to leave the tribal council area immediately. I'll read the votes. First vote. Rob. Nina. One vote Nina, one vote Rob. Nina. That's 2 votes Nina, 1 vote Rob. Next member of the jury. Nina. Bring your torch.
Little fucker. I know. It's fine.
Nina. Travis spoken.
You can't get rid of me.
I know, it's like you just keep coming back, don't you? Now it's time for you to go.
I love you guys.
Nina just got voted out. What's the reaction?
You know, I'm not surprised. I'm shocked I got to the final 4 after I got back in. I'm so thrilled with my experience. So absolutely proud of myself. And I couldn't be happier. And I think they made the right move. And I'm thrilled for all 3 of them. And I'm so ready to shower.
You said you're beyond thrilled with your experience. Can you go into that a little bit?
You know, I was cast the very end of April. I didn't have much time to prepare. I thought Real Foot was something I would never do. I was so scared to come out here and play such a long game. I didn't think it was anything I could do. And then the opportunity dropped in my lap. And it was like something that said, do this. And so I took the chance to do it. And it was more than I ever expected. And getting voted out and then winning the battle back and coming back in and having 5 goddamn beads and nobody knew a damn thing and winning an immunity in, I don't know, a few minutes, it felt like, and like demolishing them at it to also like, and I knew my resume was too strong and nobody was gonna take me to the end, like, so I have done things that I am just so proud of myself for, and coming back in, thing I wanted to do because they all voted me out. Something I wanted to do was come back in and work with Allison on Orange to get rid of all of my purples except for Rob and Geraldine. And I'm so glad Rob is still here, and I am still so heartbroken about the Geraldine vote. And so I kept those 2 purples because they meant the most to me, and I kept them in as long as I could, and Rob is still here, and so I'm so glad for that. And you know, the only thing I didn't get to was Final Tribal, and that's fine because this game was amazing.
What do you think you've learned about yourself from this experience?
I learned that, you know, even I doubt myself and my abilities, even though I fight for the advocacy and accessibility rights for people with disabilities almost daily. And I push people to remember that people with disabilities know their bodies better. And I still doubted my body and my ability to withstand this and these conditions. And I handled these conditions so much better than I ever thought possible. So I doubted myself and my body, but my body handled this like nothing.
Who are, of the 3 left in the game, who would you support the most on the jury?
Probably Allison. As much as I love Rob, probably Allison.
Any final thoughts?
No.